Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camp Report Show.
And on this Camp Report Show, Bob, I'm taking you to a place. Actually, you introduced me to it. It's very unique and it's a great place for RVers to go. It's in Naples, Florida. And just go there hungry because when you come out, you won't be hungry anymore. Let's leave it a little suspense to it, but
Leave some suspense.
it's a
All
great
right,
place.
that sounds fantastic. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I
Yeah.
won't let the cat out of the bag. Do that. But we're going to do something different because I know you just came off a 5-week road trip in the motorhome to Florida. So I'm going to actually interview you for my guest this week, and that's got some interesting discussion too.
That'll be probably one of your best interviews ever.
Absolutely.
Well, there's so much to share, and it's much easier to share it in an interview format than me just telling the story.
Yeah.
And I think our viewers are going to like what they hear about the future of RVing, not just in Florida, but on long distance trips like that.
Yep.
And we've got a lot of info to share.
Fantastic.
Plus, we've got all the news of the week, and tell our audience where we get that news.
RV Business with Rick Kessler and Woodall's Campground Magazine with Ben Quiggle.
Stay with us, everybody. Attention all RVers. Say goodbye to roof worries and hello to worry-free travel with RV Roof Magic. This revolutionary liquid butyl roof coating is specially formulated to protect your RV from the elements, to extend its lifespan and prevent leaks. With simple application and outstanding results, RV Roof Magic is the go-to choice for RV owners seeking superior roof protection. Don't let roof maintenance issues hold you back. RV Roof Magic is the only liquid butyl rubber in the world that offers a one-coat, no primer coverage and a 10-year warranty. Visit rvroofmagic.com/RVLife and extend your roof another 18 to 20 years. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Kemp Report Show. This is the news segment. My name is John DePietro, and the other guy with the hat. See, I got my hat on. Bob has his hat on. It's Bob Zagami. And Bob, we've got some very interesting news to report. And it's all about companies that we kind of know who the people are that are running the show.
That's
And
right.
the coolest segment that I've seen, because I just came back from staying at several Harvest Host properties, is that they now have a working relationships working relationship with a major campground operator in the United States, Sun Outdoors. Talk about that. Very
Well, this
interesting.
is part of the new program where they're approaching campgrounds, and they said all along, and people realize it, they're not competitive to campgrounds. They complement them very nicely.
Yeah.
So somebody might go to Harvest Host a night before going into a campground to see the area. And Joel Holland, who continues to come up with new ideas, creative marketing ideas, has a program, and Sun has joined this program with 80 of their resorts. And going to their resorts, a Harvest Host member gets a 12% discount off the service. So you can combine in your trips, as you did when you went to Florida, either a Harvest Host location or a campground location, and still receive benefits from your Harvest Host membership, which continues to grow by leaps and bounds. So it's
It's one of the
creative
best
and it's
buys.
beneficial to both of them.
It's one of the
Huh?
best buys. It's one of the best buys out there. And,
Absolutely.
they've got 9,000 locations now. And one of the Harvest Hosts we stayed at last week um, had full hookups. I mean, I think we paid $40, but it was full hookups, had a restaurant, had entertainment. And you know what? It was right on our way. So Harvest Toast is changing every day, but changing for the better. And we want to wish Joel Holland and his crew the best as they continue their um, continuation of services to the RVing
Well,
community.
and quite honestly, I don't know why any RVer that did any amount of traveling would not be a member of Harvest Host.
It's ridiculous.
We don't receive anything for that, but we've watched this grow from the day that Joel purchased the company. And the growth is dynamic, and everything he does benefits either the member or the Harvest Host location, or now the campground. Everything he does is a win-win situation in the outdoor hospitality business.
No question. Joel is the man.
Yeah.
So, with that, staying along camping lines, the Family RV Association, FRVA. But FRVA, a new organization? I've never heard of that before.
No, no, it's a rebranding of the Family Motor Coach Association, which for years, decades, only catered to motorhome owners. About 8 or 10 years ago, they allowed towables, but that really hasn't caught on. And unfortunately, each year the membership declines and the attendance at their annual convention. And they do a fantastic convention. They have seminars for 2 or 3 days. They have tremendous exhibit hall. So they do still provide a good service, but they need more members. And I
Hmm.
know Uncle
Well,
Bernie, our good friend Uncle Bernie, is down covering the 110th International Convention
hmm,
at Perry, Georgia, very popular place for a rally.
yeah.
And they don't, that's not 110 years because there was a long period of time where they actually did two conventions a year because they had so many people. The highest number of people they ever had was 7,700 rigs.
Where was
Rigs.
that?
That was in Brunswick, Maine.
Brunswick,
Brunswick,
Georgia?
2000. Huh?
Brunswick, Maine, not Brunswick, Georgia.
Brunswick, Maine, not Brunswick, Georgia. Right. Yeah.
Somebody thought it was Brunswick, Georgia, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
interesting aspect of that wasn't that venue very unique.
It
How
was
did
it was
they
at
name
an active naval air station, and they bring coaches in for a whole week. And at that time, they, like I said, 7,700 coaches, and now this year in Perry they hope to have about 1,100. So that's a significant drop over 24 years. So as the motorhome sales have decreased, and the number of mature campers that are out there have decreased. They got to reactivate it. So they're hoping that if they put the branding on a Family RV Association, then maybe people get the hint that it is okay to
Yep.
go to the conventions with a towable or a fifth wheel in a truck. But we shall see how they do this week in Perry, Georgia.
Give them the best of luck as well.
We
And
hope
our
yeah,
friends at Dometic and Go Power, I've got a Go Power unit in my own RV itself, won another award as something like best solar product for RVs.
yeah, they Dometic, to their credit, purchased Go Power, I think about 5 years ago, and they pretty much left them alone because they're at the top of the pile when it comes to solar energy, new products, creative products, efficient products, also ones that are portable that people can take with them. And they continue to get this was a Reader's Choice Award. Wild Sam Reader's Choice Award, and Wild Sam was the new publication for what was the old trailer life and motorhomes. They try to kind of keep track of these things, but this was a consumer survey, and this was based on the consumers and the ones that they like. And at the top of the pile, one more time, is Go Power.
There we go. There we go. I know I have my unit, and um, I keep it outside because it's a portable unit. It's not up on top.
Yeah,
And we have found great usage from it when we've been able to take it with us, plug it in, let it go,
yeah.
and enjoy the
This is
power
actually
that.
the third year in a row that Go Power has won this award.
Great. Perfect. So that's a wrap of the news. We've got some great stories coming up today. Stay with us because this is what, Mr. Zagami?
This is the Camper Report Show.
Hey everybody. One of the coolest parts about RVing in other parts of the country is you find some unique places like natural historical places, and then you find unique food stores like Seed to Table, unlike anything I have found in the entire United States. Let's go inside and find out.
Enough lunch? Didn't get enough lunch?
Everyone's doing it. Take this from that. I mean,
Have more strawberries.
Yeah, the white wine one, white cream, vanilla cream. Cream vanilla.
we don't have the ones anymore.
Lobster. So there's even their own My Pillow store. Mike Lindell is here too. Hi, Mike. So everything imaginable with My Pillow. And if you're from New England, you know that this brand rings a bell. Right in Florida, lots of polar flavors right here. Is it?
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. And if the guy on my left, maybe your right, looks familiar, he is my interview for this evening, having just come off a 5-week, 4,200-mile trip in the motorhome with his lovely wife, Mary Beth. And she stayed with him for the whole 5 weeks, too.
That's amazing.
It is. So what kind of things did you do to get ready for the trip, John?
Well, Bob, the interesting part about this trip, because we were going from really one season to another, we're going from winter in the Northeast to a non-winter in Florida in the Southeast. It's different than a summertime trip where it's the same weather all the time. So we had to take several extra steps to get this trip operative, and that was to make sure our unit was still winterized when we were up north, because we actually our trip was delayed 2 days because of snow and ice. And when we finally did get underway, we had another snow and ice storm coming to us from Pennsylvania, which was part of our route. So when you're taking a winter trip like we did, you have to really know the weather systems for the route that you're taking. Plus, um, you got to keep water out of the RV, and you got to worry about snow and ice that's up on the roof and things like that that can fall off and cause damage to yourself as well as other motorists.
So
So,
I assume you left here in a winterized motorhome, and at some point in time, you had to get it de-winterized.
right, we left here and it was 30 degrees and had just snowed for a day and a half, and there was a coating of ice on the RV, as you can see in the video. And at the same time, we had to get down to far enough south to know that freezing again wouldn't be an issue. Now, this year that's been a little bit difficult to do because, as we all know, they had snow in certain sections of Florida and ice from anywhere from Virginia on down. So we stopped at Campers Inn on I-95 in Selma, North Carolina, and we had them de-winterize, and then we were on our way. And the next night we could finally camp, so we were near Savannah, Georgia. So we stopped at a Spacious Skies property there, and after that we were ready to go full tilt into Florida.
Well, one of the great things about Campers Inn, they've got 36 locations now, and their plan there, as they started to expand many years ago, was to go up and down 95 from New Hampshire to Florida. So
Right.
you could have gotten winterized anywhere from South Carolina to North Carolina to Georgia to Florida, but you want to certainly get it done the first time you get out of the cold weather.
Right. And that's another important thing. When you're traveling and you have to have service done on your RV, there's such a wide variety in the capabilities of various dealerships. And at least I was confident in knowing that the Campers Inn people have expertise in this, because if you go all the way down south into Georgia and go to get de-winterized, they might not even know what you're dealing with because they don't deal with winterizing down there. So that was another important factor to take into account
Now,
for our
when you travel, I assume you use the RV travel, RV Life Trip Wizard.
RV Life. Exactly. I use the RV Life Trip Wizard.
Yep.
It tells me how fast I should be going. It tells me of any issues with height issues where I've run into that before, caused some damage to the motorhome trying to pull a detour prior to using the RV Life Trip Wizard. So that gave me campgrounds along the way and rest areas as well as gas stations and that type of thing. So um, having the opportunity to have an app guide me added an additional degree of confidence to the trip.
Well, now your first stop was at the Daytona 500, which, as any race car fan knows, the Daytona 500 is the premier race of the year for the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you decided to go to the Daytona 500 as the first stop on your 5-week adventure.
Yeah, it was the first major stop. We had some minor stops and I have to say, we stopped at Buc-ee's. We stopped at the one in South Carolina, and we stopped at the one in Jacksonville. So we made two Buc-ee's stops along the way and saw tons of other RVs at Buc-ee's. The good part about Buc-ee's is they have great food and really low gas prices. Really low gas prices. Our vehicle is a diesel. The only thing is you can't stay overnight. So that wasn't an issue because we had Harvest Host properties, we had Corps of Engineer properties, we had state parks, and we also had the Spacious Skies properties to look at. But we made it to Daytona, and it was, you know what? You go to Daytona. Daytona is the world's largest RV park during those 4 days of race week. I mean, I've been told anywhere from 1,500 to 4,500 RVs are in that infield and in the area surrounding it. Besides, there are other RV parks that crop up just for the race weeks right around Daytona, but it was pretty cool. The president showed up.
If you own a house down there, you stick out a
You're
box
right.
sign for
Right.
$100 or $150, and they gladly pay it.
Yep, exactly, exactly. So the president was there. We saw Air Force One come over the track, and the Thunderbirds they pretty much do a show that if you're not paying attention, you can get frightened because they come very low, as everyone who's seen the Thunderbirds know. I mean, you got an Air Force hat on right there.
Right. Good
There we
old
go.
birds. Right.
Yeah.
So what other places did you stop during the trip?
We were in St. Augustine, which is a very historic city and has some great RV campgrounds there. And we also were in West Palm, and we were in Fort Myers, Naples area. And every one of those areas of Florida has kind of its own distinctive feel to it. The West Palm, Fort Lauderdale area is much more hustle and bustle than than really Daytona and St. Augustine. But then when you get over to Fort Myers, that area is growing and growing and growing. And the thing that people need to understand if they're going to RV to Florida in the winter, it's always good to know roughly where you're going to stay, even if you don't know the particular campground, because campgrounds down there are filled up this time of year.
They certainly are. Now you were also down there helping out the Kenny Rogers band, and I know you're amongst some of your other talents. You are responsible for booking the band in the in the Northeast. So you went to several concerts. I was fortunate enough to go to one. Thank you. We enjoyed it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we
Tell
kind of
me about the
like
band.
it was the last week of the tour. The last week of our trip down there was the tour where they started in Boca and then moved gradually up to Palm Coast, I think was the most northern one, which is just a little bit north of St. Augustine. And great shows, great audiences, and an all-around good time. And then after the last show, we headed home, 4,200 miles, trouble-free, knock on wood, trouble-free. Last year we had some issues with the generator and some headlights and some other electrical issues of buying a battery this year. None whatsoever. And we parked it today and looking forward to the next trip during April vacation.
And
But
you're a fan now of state parks and national parks, right? You're spending more time in those
right,
venues right now. Yeah.
right, exactly. And the other thing I found out about Florida is that they have county parks. So in the area around where was that? It's all a blur now. But around West Palm, there was a county park with 300 spots, full hookups, 300 spots, and very nice amenities. But you've got the Army Corps of Engineer parks, which are about 45 to $60. But if you have the senior pass put out by I believe it's the National Park Service,
National Park Service, yeah.
National Park Service, um, it's half price. So we were able to stay in Fort Myers for 4 nights at $15 a night.
It's
So
amazing.
you can't beat that.
Amazing.
You're not going to find the shuffleboard. You're not going to find snack bars and that type of thing. But if you're looking for good, clean accommodations, and some of these, one of the parks was directly on the Atlantic Ocean, directly waterfront. Uh,
Wow.
so wide variety of things. But we just want to remind people that drive carefully. And I always tell people try to drive in the daytime because we saw lots of debris on the roads at night with the heavy trailer truck use and the busy traffic in that area. Um, Always good to drive during the daytime.
Okay, so my guest tonight has been John DePietro, who's usually on the other side of the microphone and the other interview in our show. John, thanks for giving us the recap on the Florida trip.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here.
All right.